Well. What happens if or when you breach the contract? By that I mean you have a contract, maybe $6,000 or 3 years, with an agency that brought you from your country. You come to the US, and after a while, for one reason or the other, you want to breach that contract. You want to call it quits. You want to resign from that agency. What happens? Good question, because I've been getting multiple times. I don't know if I've ever addressed it as a question, but let's keep going. And for those guys who say my videos are long, man, just swipe, just leave, because I'm not a comedian. I'm not here to entertain you. Just leave, man. Just go to those 2 second videos or whatever. Yeah, I'm not responsible for your tiny attention span. I'm here to give quality information that can save a life, can save someone from using lots of money. Yeah, that's what I do. All right. So if that's you, just swipe. Go to somebody else. Yeah, go to those TikTok dances or whatever. Anyway, let's see. So there are many reasons why someone may want to breach the contract, and for most part, when people come here, that's not what they want to do. But life happens, man. So for one reason or many friends, let me see. I can barely remember anybody who actually finished their contract. There are very few. So I just want to say I'm not going to address why, because it differs from person to person, and I'm not going to say if it is wrong or right, because for sure there's some situations where you have to, but I just going to say what happens. I mean, if you're interested, if you are worrying, or if you are planning when you get here you want to breach a contract for one reason or the other, what exactly happens? Number one, and I'm gonna be biased. I don't have information about other agencies, but I've heard about it. So I know about my agency that people we came with or came later who decided to breach the contract. You understand me? Cool. So number one, what happens? Of course, you tell them, hey, you try there's some communication. You say, I'm interested in resigning. I don't want to proceed with this journey with you guys. What's gonna happen? So the first thing they're gonna do, of course, to discourage you. I mean, they're in business. You can't blame them. There is a contract that you signed and all that good stuff. So they're gonna discourage you. They're gonna tell you you're gonna lose a lot of stuff. They may even mention about. Someone told me that they even mentioned about immigration, whatever. Like they're gonna report you to immigration. And when you get that green card, there is a portion that says, maybe I need to confirm this, that you are in the US because of that agency, and they have the power to actually go to the immigration and say, we brought this guy here and now he's not doing what we actually told him to, or what we agreed he will do here. So I have to confirm that, but I remember it's one of the things that I read when I got that green card. Anyway, so they're gonna discourage you, maybe threaten you or something like that, or they're gonna try to tell you why you should not and all that good stuff. But if you have decided, man, you gotta go. So there are things that they give you when you're in the US. One particular thing that your employer offers you is health insurance. All right. So with the agents that I had, that health insurance is of course attached to employer. So if you're not gonna work with that employer, of course they're gonna pull back. So you're gonna be yourself. So you're gonna breach. You need to have a backup plan, especially if you have a family, to have some sort of insurance before you get your next employer, or before you decide to actually have your own. You can find your own insurance and pay for it without unemployment. That's what travelers do. Okay, so they're gonna take that back. Number two, for us with our agency, it has that we have these communication companies like Safaricom back home. So they have an account. They have an account that is attached to that employer. Okay, and what happens is in that company, like for example, let's say Safaricom, Just saying Safaricom because most of my followers are from Kenya. So within that Safaricom, there is another I would say sub agency within it that only deals with first line responders. You know, these are doctors, EMTs, nurses, or even the medical field. You are considered a first line provider. First line, what is the term? Medical or something like that. So what happens with that is it's kind of discounted for you. So with the agency that I came with, so we were given these small, it's called Fastnet. You know, it's like you are within this big company called AT&T, and then within it there's a Fastnet just for medical provider. So once you resign, they're gonna pull that off as well. So what's gonna happen is you are not able to make calls, you can't receive calls. That's interesting, right? you can't even receive calls, man. So you need to have a plan for that, and you need to, if you want to continue with that Fastnet for medical people, you have to actually approach the company again, provide evidence that you'll still be working as a healthcare provider, so you can continue with that. No big deal. The next thing is you're gonna pay them back. I know you have to pay them back. So what they do is they normally give you a plan on how you're going to pay them back, and you can negotiate. I know people said, I'm not able to have that money, and I can't give that money right away. Give me a few months to be able to recover and be able to pay you back. I know during the COVID time, people made lots of money. They were able to pay instantly. You know, if it's so with my agency again, they say if you have, for example, 6,000 hours, so you multiply 6,000 hours times 5. Like for every hour that you owe them, it's $5. Okay, so calculate. If you're a guy with 6,246, that's what I had, something like that. You multiply by 5. That's the amount. That's about 30,000 and something. We are talking about dollars, guys. So that's what you owe them. So you have a plan to start paying them back. Another important thing they're gonna say is you can't work in that hospital. Yeah, because they outsource the hospital for you. So you can't work in that hospital for 6 months. Yeah, after 6 months you can go back and reapply. Remember, the hospital is not firing you. You are just leaving the agency. You are not leaving the hospital. So normally, usually the hospital has no bad blood, if I can say that, with you. Okay, so if you want to leave, you will go, and then after 6 months you will reapply back. So once all that's taken care of, you're good to go. All right, so really things happen, you know, sometimes you don't plan, but you have to live. And for those guys like me who and really there's no much difference with what I've said and when you actually complete the contract, because once you complete the contract, again they're gonna pull back that telecommunication company. The only thing is you're not gonna pay them back because there's nothing to pay, and they're not gonna ask you not to work for that hospital. Of course, the health insurance as well, they're gonna pull that back as well. So that's pretty much about it. I hope I answered that question. Let me know. I get so many texts, my DMs are open. Whenever I get a chance, I'm able to reply. I hope that settles it. And please, if this information is helpful, why can't you follow me on YouTube? What's going on in YouTube? I have like what, 2 followers? You guys be serious. Just a little bit of hard work. Get off TikTok, click that link on my bio, go to YouTube, subscribe, share. Let's share the good news. Okay? Cheers.